Hi, welcome to Paleo Greenbird. I'm Greenbird, and today we're going to be recording video 10 of the Dacite Tool Challenge. I think I said it was video 10 last time, even though it was only video 9. A little hard to keep track with with all the stuff going on, but we're getting down to a point where we have a bifacial pattern, pretty thin. So I mean, we could get a million microblade type of tools. So I guess the tool challenge might be a little bit of a misleading title. I want to get tools out of here, but I'd like to get, some decent points and things like that. So I'm going to see if we still have enough, and we should have enough material that we can take off to make a tool or an arrowhead, while still keeping in mind that I would like to get something decent sized out of this in the end. The rest of the tools that we're taking are really, for me, intended just to be a way of reducing waste and utilizing all the flakes that come off of this. But in the end, I'd like to try and get something, a decent size out of this, whether it be a knife or a big arrow point. I don't know if I would really make a knife out of Dacite, but I mean, not for functional use anyway. So let's find ourselves our next platform. Might need to do a little bit of trimming. I'm going to take my small bopper for this. Just taking some thinning flakes. I mean, these could all be hafted as microblades. I'm not going to quite get that technical. Alright, so just looking for platforms that are not only going to take off a flake, but at this point I'm trying to get rid of the waviness, the thick edges. And this is something workable. That was a pretty nice flake. It broke up, but it took off a nice piece. This big hump right here I need to worry about, though. So I have to choose which direction I want to work it from. I need to drive it this way, or take a number of flakes this way. Trim it up a little bit here, trying to give myself some platforms. I think I did too. I think right here, got a little platform right here that I can take and drive that ridge off. It's kind of on the wrong side. I want to take the width off the other side, but maybe it'll leave me a platform going the other direction. It's all going to come off eventually, so. Really thin microblade. Let's see here. I'm going to try and build a platform over here. I don't like to build platforms, but I think in this situation I'm going to have to. I'm not getting one naturally. I might even isolate this a little bit. Isn't that different? I don't like that. I've got some kind of mediocre platforms. And I think what I'm going to try and do is take this from the tip. So there's that big thick spot there. I already have that kind of natural angle. I like to capitalize on natural platforms. I don't really usually like to tell the rock what to do. I like to do what it wants to do, and it's probably just an excuse for, not being very good. There we go. That's what we wanted. Check that out. There's the flake. I should probably bill it up, I guess. I'm using the smallest billet I have. But that's a good flake right there. And I think maybe we'll stop and we'll make that our point. I see a bunch of other areas of opportunity to take off more flakes, but for the sake of this exercise, let's just work with this flake. So I've got my bulb of percussion down here. Gets pretty thin up there. This is going to be another flake point. Probably nothing with, like, you know, super flake patterns or anything like that. And what I'm grinding off now too here is razor sharp. I mean, I could just have used this as some sort of a tool, but I am going to put myself in the mindset of I'm on the hunt. It doesn't do any good to have a bunch of cutting tools and skinning tools if you've got nothing to cut or skin. So just getting rid of all the weak edges, trying to see what I'm left with for a general shape. I think what I've learned so far is the first thing that I'm going to address here is this bulb of percussion, because that will drive me crazy if I don't. I'm going to use my pad, but I don't think I'm not going to use the groove. In some of the last videos, I seem to break a lot when I do that, so I'm going to just use the leather pad itself. Try to get this bulb of percussion flat enough to where I can either just remove it all together or work with it. So again, the flat part of the pad is a lot better for me. Get rid of that right away. Still want to keep support front and center, but it seems to be a little bit easier to do that, not using that groove. So this is a learning experience for me. I feel like when I go back to knapping, you know, just trying to get one point out of one piece, all this will have helped me tremendously. I mean, to some extent, this is a little bit difficult for me because, you know, I like to just smack on a piece of rock, use a lot of percussion, face it down and then turn it into a point. So for me to take these flakes and really try and do something with it that's new to me. Or at least it was before I did this. So I'm still struggling with that bulb of percussion. I need to just get rid of it. This percussion is actually working pretty good. Thought I was going to have to smash it off, but a little bit of percussion is actually doing the trick. I'm pretty happy about that. Yeah, I kind of like the way that's working out. Taking little flakes off, but they're taking them off, and it's taking them off enough to where I feel like I could start pressure flaking some of that into shape. So let's do that. So here I am going to use the groove. I'm just going to be really careful. Hopefully I don't break it. That sounded good. And there are a lot of people out there way better than me at flint knapping. You can check them out. Paleo Man Jim is a good channel. Jack Crafty's good channel. Depending upon what kind of knapping you want to do. He does a lot of indirect percussion, which is something I'd like to get into. I tried it with my Ishi stick, but I don't know, it doesn't work for me. But I have a friend of mine, Ten Bears, Dave 10 Bears, who's on my channel, who is sending me a kit that he has made, and I've seen the stuff he's done, and it looks pretty good. I don't know for sure how long he's been knapping, but I don't think it's that long, according, based upon some of the things that he says. Could be wrong. In fact, if you're watching this, Dave, why don't you let me know how long you've been knapping? That way I know what to expect for a learning curve. Okay, so I'm just trying to shape this up a little bit. The bulb of percussion is actually, because I was able to thin it down decently, is going to be the tip of this point. And it might not be completely level. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pressure flake that level, but it's going to be close enough to where I think it makes sense to make that to point. It'll be a little bit thicker. It'll probably end up being a little bit... Oh, I just broke that. I don't even know how that happened. I didn't even hear it. See that though? Bummer. That's alright. The way I'm starting to look at it is if it breaks off, I mean obviously it's my fault and I did something wrong, but if it breaks off, it doesn't want to be there anyway. Especially on these flake points, it's probably just too weak to stand up to the job. But anyway, I forget what I was saying, but there's some of these smaller channels, because I'm a smaller channel, and some of them tend to jump on my page, and then I go and visit their page and I'm like, man, how are these channels so small? What they're doing is just so amazing. So Dave 10 Bears is one of those. Another one is Cameron Jones. If you have not checked out his YouTube page, you got to check it out. If you like my stuff, you'll love his stuff. Oh, that scared the crap out of me. That's my phone doing some sort of weird alert. But his channel goes in a direction that, I plan on going to. He flint knaps and so forth, but he also does a lot of other primitive skills, which, believe it or not, you wouldn't know it based upon the videos that I have published, but believe it or not, that is the direction that I intended to go with this channel. It's just learning those skills. So who knows? We'll try some similar stuff. Alright, so this is, you can see where I blew that ear off. So now I'm just trying to even it up. I'm taking my time because I don't want to just reshape it and then have it be all thick. I do want to have a little bit of a flake pattern just for the sole sake of thinning the material. I'm not so concerned about how it looks. I don't expect a flake point to really look that great. Not a thin flake point like this. I mean, if we were working with a thicker flake, then obviously you have more material to work with to pressure flake it, and get the flake pattern and so forth. Again, I'm going back to using the groove, and I'm being really careful. And as I get to the tip here, I'm probably going to go back to the pad as it starts to thin. Just because I find that working straight off the pad, if you have enough give in your pad, I probably could use a little bit more. I wonder if there we go. It has a little bit more give than that wood-backed pad that I'm using. I think maybe that helped. Oh yeah, it helps a lot. Keeping an eye on my shape. I do notice that I'm starting to lose my shape a little bit. We're getting the point small enough to where you have to keep your final shape in mind. There's only so much material you can take off. Yep. There we go. So we're getting there. I don't know how much the camera's picking up. I feel like with some of these points, I might have a better. It might be better to demonstrate them with a GoPro rather than from that angle, because you can't see a whole lot of what I'm doing. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit more for the rest of this. Just a little closer, but. So I've got my general shape. I think what I'm going to do, work on this base a little bit, and then I'm going to grind. Let the grinder show me what I have. It's kind of taking a risk to not clean my pad off after every flake. I probably should clean my pad off a lot more than I do. Triangle here. As usual. Take a quick look at it, try to keep it in symmetry, try and keep an eye on my center line. If your center line gets away from you, boy, that can be trouble. Especially if like in this one where the tip is starting to kind of scoop a little bit, scoop upward. So I need to make sure I'm giving it the same attention I'm giving the rest of the point. Got ourselves a decent triangle. This side has to come in for sure. In fact, I'm going to do that now before I even bother grinding. Actually, that didn't do too bad at all. That means I'm getting better at driving those flakes. Didn't have to go back and fix the center line. And knock on wood, so far I haven't busted this thing in half. Like I'm too thin. Okay, so I'm going to grind. I got the shape a lot more acceptable, so I just didn't want to continue any further with that shape. I mean, still, this part still needs to come in a little bit, but not nearly as bad as it did. So grind this, and I think I'm going to take a final pass, and then we'll put some notches in it. I don't think I'm going to sharpen it. I'm going to leave it sharp enough to use. I'm not going to sharpen it, you know, to like a hunting point. Alright, so now we're going to take some minor adjustments on here. We're going to get that edge a little bit better. We're going to put some notches in here and end this video. Look at it, what needs to come off. Really tiny flakes at this point. Just shaping, but I don't want to lose my center line. Don't want to lose any mass at this point. Anywhere where I kind of see like a zigzag or a waviness, I'm going to hit that point a little bit, I think, just to try and bring that center line to a point where when I do go to sharpen this, or if I go to sharpen it, all I got to do is just take off those micro flakes. I don't have to correct anything. I don't pay a lot of attention to that when I'm making necklaces and stuff like that, but this project is simulating, you know, kind of a situation in that Paleolithic, or, you know, maybe a little further along. Alright. So just have to sharpen this tip a little bit. This tip is very square. Not square, but there's no real sharp point to it. Kind of just dulls out. Alright, so I think we are going to notch this. We're going to call this done. Yeah, we're going to call this done. At least done enough to where it's done for now until we go to sharpen it. This is what it looks like. So now let's put some notches in it. This is a small piece. I don't know if I should just put like kind of like a horseshoe notch, sort of like a Solutrean style, or if I should try and put some side notches in here. I'm going to go with some side notches. I could grind this before I start. Crushing sound. Alright, got a little itty bitty notch. So I'm going to flip over to the other side. Same thing, and I'm actually not going to use the groove on this side. Probably shouldn't have used the groove on the other side. Pump up a little bit here. After I pop that first flake, I always like to just give a look, make sure that I am the same amount, the same distance up from the base as I was on the first one. Sometimes it's hard to judge. More crushing. I'm wondering if I should sharpen my pressure flaker a little bit. Might help. I'm not gonna. So after I get my notches done, I always like to take a look at my base. Like you can see how wonky this base is. That needs to be tightened up in a serious way. So how do I do that? And that was because I probably should have addressed my base before I even started notching. I spent a lot of time on shaping this, so I'm just trying to kind of hurry this along a little bit. In reality, these points probably shouldn't take me as long to make as they do. But I think they're getting a little bit quicker, to tell you the truth. Some of these flake points, I mean, this is new to me, and I feel like some of them are coming along a lot quicker than they did in the first couple videos. Okay, and my notches are not really, some of them aren't exactly the same as far as like how big they are, and while it kind of appears to be a cosmetic thing, it also does play a big role when you go to haft it. If one notch is significantly, differently shaped, it just makes it a pain when you go to haft the sinew in there. Sometimes it doesn't, it just wraps difficultly. Let's give it another grind. Grinding those ears, but I'm grinding them real carefully. Tell you one thing, I'm dying to make myself a nice, beautiful bifacial point. But I know if I put this series off and start going in a different direction, I just won't get back to it. That's just how I am. Alright, so we're going to call that complete. Put the tools away. So what we have here, I think this is a nice flake point. Let me know what you think. I think it's got a good thickness to it too. It's not one of those, not super thin. It's got some little bit of girth to it, which I like. It's got pretty good notches. Here it is again, a better view. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. This is the Dacite Tool Challenge, video 10. And please like, please share, please subscribe. I hope you're having an awesome day. And this is Paleo Greenbird, and I am signing out.